Good afternoon, everyone. Just wanted to know whether am I audible so that we could start up with the session. Good afternoon. Just let me know whether am I audible. Okay, fine. So the very first question is the case study question, and as you can see in the image, the clean magnesium ribbon is about 3 to 4 centimeter long, is burnt using a burner by holding it with a pair of tongs, and the ash so formed is collected in the watch glass. The magnesium ribbon is kept away as far as possible from the eye. So this is the paragraph in which magnesium ribbon is getting burned, and these are the pair of tongs. And when magnesium ribbon is burned, the ash is collected in the watch glass, and the ash collected is what it is mentioned in the figure. It is of magnesium oxide. So what is the reaction all about? The reaction is that magnesium is getting burned, and when anything is getting burned, it is in the presence of oxygen, and when it is burned in the presence of oxygen, the product is MgO, that is the magnesium oxide. तो ये सिंपल हमारी कंबशन रिएक्शन है, एंड इट कैन ऑल्सो बी द टाइप ऑफ कॉम्बिनेशन रिएक्शन. Why combination reaction, students? Since two or more reactants are forming a single product. Whenever there is just a single product, then it is termed as combination reaction. So we will be dealing with the different questions from this particular paragraph. And so we proceed. The very first question is, what is the color of the powder collected in a watch glass? As you can see, the ash was collected in the watch glass. You need to tell what is the color of the ash. That is, what was the color of magnesium oxide? White, gray, black, and brown. Out of these four, which would be the color? Yes, very good. The color of the magnesium oxide would be white. So you must know that the ash collected or the powder collected was nothing else but magnesium oxide. Moving ahead to the next question. What type of change occur in the above experiment? As you can see, the magnesium ribbon was getting burnt. Which type of change was it? Whether it was a physical change or a chemical change, or it was not a change at all. So students, you all must know that physical changes are reversible. अगर हम magnesium oxide से दोबारा magnesium ribbon बना सकते, so we would have termed it as a physical change. But yes, we all know, since magnesium oxide cannot be transformed or reversed back into the magnesium ribbon, so this would be an example of a chemical change or an irreversible change. सबसे easy तरीका है आपको सोचने का कि आप प्रोडक्ट से दोबारा रिएक्टेंट बना सकते हैं या नहीं. अगर आप प्रोडक्ट से दोबारा रिएक्टेंट बना सकते हैं तो वो आपका फिजिकल चेंज है. अगर आप प्रोडक्ट से दोबारा रिएक्टेंट नहीं बना सकते तो वो आपका इरिवर्सिबल एंड हेंस केमिकल चेंज है. मूविंग अहेड टू द नेक्स्ट. What is the chemical name of the powder collected in the watch glass? We have already discussed a very easy question. What is the chemical name of the powder collected in the watch glass? जो powder बना था, what is the name of that powder? Yes, perfect. We have already discussed that powder was magnesium oxide, which was white in color. Next, which of the following determines the occurrence of the chemical reaction? Now, you all know that there are 5 characteristics of the chemical reaction. That is the change in state, change in color, change in odor, formation of precipitate, or change in temperature. Now, which of the following occurred in the above reactions or the above paragraph which we have discussed? Whether it was change in state, change in color, change in temperature, or all of the above? Yes, all of the changes were observed. Change in state, because magnesium ribbon solid से गैस रिलीज हुई थी तो स्टेट भी चेंज हुई है. कलर भी चेंज हो गया है मैग्नीशियम रिबन का, टेम्परेचर ऑब्वियसली किसी चीज़ को हीट कर रहे हैं तो टेम्परेचर तो राइज होगा ही. सो सिंस ऑल द थ्री वर शोन in the above case, the answer would be all of the above. Moving ahead to the next one. Powder is always formed whenever a chemical reaction takes place. So is it important or is it compulsory that powder will be formed when a chemical reaction is taking place? Powder बनेगा ही बनेगा. क्या ये compulsory situation है? True or false? Yes. It is not important that always the powder will be formed. So it would be false. Moving ahead to the next question. As you can see, magnesium plus oxygen is giving magnesium oxide. A word equation shows the change of the reactants to the products through an arrow placed between the reactants, which are written on the left hand side with a plus sign between them. Similarly, products are written on the right hand side with a plus sign between them. The arrowhead points towards the products and show the direction of reaction. So simply they are telling you how to write the normal chemical reaction. जब हम normal chemical reaction लिखते हैं तो different reactants के बीच में हम plus का sign add करते हैं, अलग अलग products के बीच में भी हम plus का sign add करते हैं, और reactant से products को अलग करने के लिए हम एक arrow बनाते हैं जिसका head towards the product side होता है. तो ये जनरली हमारी वर्ड इक्वेशन थी. वर्ड इक्वेशन और केमिकल रिएक्शन में डिफरेंस है. अगर हम सिंबल यूज़ करते हैं Mg तो हमारी केमिकल रिएक्शन हो जाती है. वर्ड इक्वेशन जो आपको ये इक्वेशन दी हुई है वर्ड इक्वेशन का एग्जांपल है, बिकॉज इसमें सब कुछ प्रॉपर्ली लिखा है. मैग्नीशियम प्लस ऑक्सीजन इन द वर्ड्स, सो इट इज़ एन एग्जांपल ऑफ द वर्ड इक्वेशन. सो मूविंग अहेड टू द सिंपल क्वेश्चंस. यस. Which of the following are reactants in the above word equation? Since you can see the reaction, you have to tell which of the following are reactants. The substances which are reacting are termed as reactants. So which of the four is the correct answer? Whether it is magnesium, oxygen, both magnesium and oxygen, or magnesium oxide. Yes, both magnesium and oxygen were reacting, and since they were reacting, they are the reactants. So if we are asked the reactants, these two were the reactants. Moving ahead to the next. Straight true or false? Word equation is the shortest way of representing. जो word equation है जो अभी हमने पढ़ी, क्या ये shortest way है represent करने का एक chemical reaction को? Is it the shortest way? Whether is it true or false? Yes. False. It cannot be the shortest way. What would be the shortest way? The shortest way would be a chemical reaction in which all the reactants are written in the symbolic form. Symbol की form में लिखे होते हैं. अगर okay, moving ahead. Which of the following are the products in the above reaction? We have already studied the above reaction. It's a very easy question. Which of the following are the products? A. Is it magnesium? B. Is it oxygen? C. Is it both magnesium and oxygen? Or D. Is it magnesium oxide? Which is the product? Yes, the product is magnesium oxide. Perfect. Moving ahead to the next one. Which of the following represents the direction of the reaction? अब अगर हमें reaction की direction बतानी है, so which of the symbol is telling us about the direction of the reaction? Is it plus sign or is it arrowhead? Think about it and respond fast. Yes, perfect. So which is telling us about the direction? कि किस direction में? See students, it is what? It is arrowhead, because plus तो हमें अलग अलग चीज़ें, what all are the reactants and what all reactants we are adding is shown by the plus sign, but arrowhead tells about the direction. Moving ahead to the next. Okay, now this case study is one of the most important. As you can see in this beaker, we have mixed two of the reactants, and what are the two reactants which we have mixed is that calcium oxide and water. अब कैल्शियम ऑक्साइड और वाटर रिएक्ट कर रहे हैं और what is the product formed? You need to think and tell the following answers of the questions. In the above image, a small amount of quicklime is taken in a beaker and water is added to slowly. When we touch the beaker, we feel that the temperature of the beaker changes. तो जब टेम्परेचर चेंज हो रहा है, और फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आप मुझे बताइए, यू नीड टू कमेंट इट इन द चैट बॉक्स, व्हेन कैल्शियम ऑक्साइड एंड वाटर आर रिएक्टिंग, will the temperature increase or the temperature will decrease? What will be the change you would be noticing? टेम्परेचर इंक्रीज हो रहा होगा या टेम्परेचर डिक्रीज हो रहा होगा? कैसा टेम्परेचर में चेंज होगा? हरे up. And I would also like to tell that calcium oxide can also be termed as quicklime. So the question can also be asked when quicklime is added to water. So it's just the same. Yes. And since the temperature, very good, the temperature increases and in the reaction of the temperature is increasing, तो हीट रिलीज हो रही है, और ऐसी रिएक्शंस जिनमें हीट रिलीज होती है, we term them as exothermic. Exo means exit and thermic means heat. Since the heat is getting released, we will term the reaction as exothermic reaction. Moving ahead to the very first question, the temperature of the beaker. Yes, we have already discussed the temperature of the beaker increases since it is an example of exothermic reaction. Students, once the question was even asked, give an example of the reaction, combination reaction which is exothermic. तो क्वेश्चन ऐसे भी आता है कि ऐसी रिएक्शन का एग्जाम्पल दो, ऐसी कॉम्बिनेशन रिएक्शन का एग्जाम्पल दो जो एक्सोथर्मिक है. सो सी, कैल्शियम ऑक्साइड एंड वाटर आर रिएक्टिंग, एंड सिंस दे बोथ आर रिएक्टिंग एंड फॉर्मिंग अ सिंगल प्रोडक्ट, ये क्या है हमारा बेटा? सिंगल, एक ही प्रोडक्ट आ रहा है. और जब भी एक ही प्रोडक्ट होता है तो वो कौन सी रिएक्शन होती है? वो होती है कॉम्बिनेशन रिएक्शन. और ऐसी कॉम्बिनेशन रिएक्शन बताओ जो बहुत एक्सोथर्मिक है, तो आपको ये वाली रिएक्शन कोड करनी है. ओके, मूविंग अहेड टू द नेक्स्ट वन. व्हाट इज द केमिकल नेम ऑफ द क्विकलाइम? यू नीड टू टेल व्हाट इज द केमिकल नेम ऑफ क्विकलाइम. ए, कैल्शियम हाइड्रोक्साइड, B, calcium oxide, C, calcium sulphate, or D, calcium phosphate. What is the chemical name of quicklime? Perfect. Chemical name of quicklime is calcium oxide. The next one. Which of the following type of reaction takes place inside the beaker? We know there are 4 types of reaction. That is decomposition, precipitation, displacement, and combination. Out of these 4, which of the reaction occurred in the above case? Yes, we have already discussed that the reaction which occurred is the combination reaction. And how? Since only a single product, that is calcium hydroxide, has been formed. Moving ahead. Now you need to tell whether is it true or false. That is, quicklime. Quicklime reacts vigorously with water to produce slaked lime, releasing a large amount of heat. तो जो क्विकलाइम जब वाटर के साथ रिएक्ट कर रही है और स्लेक्ड लाइम बना रही है बहुत ज़्यादा हीट के साथ, क्या ये बात सही है या गलत है? इज इट ट्रू और फॉल्स? यस स्टूडेंट्स, द कैल्शियम हाइड्रोक्साइड प्रोड्यूस, कैल्शियम ऑक्साइड और वाटर जब कंबाइन हुए तो जो प्रोडक्ट आया दैट वाज आवर कैल्शियम हाइड्रोक्साइड. And this calcium hydroxide is termed as slaked lime. And yes, it is releasing a large amount of heat. That was the only reason we termed it as exothermic. So this is true. Moving ahead to the next one. Yes. Now this is the further extension of this question only. That when a solution of slaked lime, this is another case study which we are discussing. When a solution of slaked lime is used for whitewashing walls, calcium hydroxide reacts slowly with carbon dioxide in air to form a thin layer of calcium carbonate on the walls. Calcium carbonate is formed after 2 to 3 days of whitewashing and gives a shiny finish to the walls. Now what this question is saying, this question or this case study, this paragraph is telling, when slaked lime, जो slaked lime अभी हमने पढ़ा, slaked lime हम किसे बोलते हैं? कैल्शियम हाइड्रोक्साइड को. So when this calcium hydroxide is reacting with the carbon dioxide, क्योंकि हमने वॉल पे पेंट किया, पेंट में क्या है? कैल्शियम हाइड्रोक्साइड है. अब पेंट जब एटमॉस्फेयर के साथ रिएक्ट करेगा तो एटमॉस्फेयर में कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड तो प्रेजेंट है, और रिएक्ट करने के बाद वो कैल्शियम कार्बोनेट बना रहा है जिसे हम बोलते हैं CaCO3. दिस कैल्शियम कार्बोनेट so formed is responsible for giving a shiny finish to the walls. यही हमारे वॉल्स पे बिल्कुल शाइन लेकर आती है, और 2 to 3 days बाद आपको ये शाइन नोटिस होती है आफ्टर गेटिंग पेंट. सो वी विल बी डिस्कसिंग सम क्वेश्चंस रिलेटेड टू इट. दिस इज ऑल्सो अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रिएक्शन. सो which of the following is the chemical formula of the slaked lime? Whether it is the first one CaO, or the second one calcium hydroxide CaOH whole twice, or is it the third one calcium carbonate? Which is the chemical formula of slaked lime? Yes, we have already discussed, it is the B1, that is calcium hydroxide. The next one, what is the chemical formula of marble? Marble का chemical formula क्या है? Whether it is calcium oxide, calcium hydroxide or calcium carbonate, CaCO3. What is the chemical formula of the marble? Yes, very good students. The formula of the marble is CaCO3, that is calcium carbonate. Even if it has been asked limestone, the formula would remain the same. Limestone is also a type of stone and its formula is calcium carbonate. So whenever it is asked, please do remember that the formula of marble or limestone is just the same, that is calcium carbonate. Even in chalk, sometimes it has been asked what is present in chalk. Chalk is also calcium carbonate. Next, which of the following gas turns lime water milky? Now this question is about the test. When we test which test of a gas, one of the gas turns the lime water milky. You need to name and tell which gas we are talking about, whether it is carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, hydrogen or oxygen. Which among the following turns the lime water milky? Perfect, that is carbon dioxide. This is the test. Even in exams it has been asked, how will you confirm that whether the gas released is कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड? तो आप बोलेंगे अगर हम उस कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड को लाइम वाटर से पास करेंगे और लाइम वाटर मिल्की हो जाएगा तो वो कंफर्म हो जाएगा कि जो हमारी गैस रिलीज हुई है वो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड है. एंड विच गैस बर्न्स विद द पॉप साउंड? this is also the confirmatory test of one of the gas, that the gas burns with the pop sound. Name the gas which burns with the pop sound. Yes, very good students. So this is the confirmatory test of hydrogen. Hydrogen is the gas which burns with the pop sound. Moving ahead to the next question. Shining finish of the walls after whitewashing is due to which of the following compound? जो shiny finish आता है wall में, which is observed after 2 to 3 days, is due to the formation of what? A, is it calcium oxide? B, is it calcium hydroxide? Or C, whether it is calcium carbonate? Yes, the answer is the third one, that is the calcium carbonate. Okay. Which of the following are the examples of a combination reaction? आपको बताना है कि out of these three, which of the following is an example of the combination reaction? कौन सा इसमें से combination reaction का example है? First is the burning of coal. See students, remember, coal is the form of carbon in the solid form. So carbon with S in the bracket is the denotation of way of denoting coal, and coal when reacts with oxygen gives carbon dioxide and lot of heat. So this is an example of a combination reaction. Formation of water from hydrogen and oxygen, yes, H2 and O2 when combined leads to the formation of H2O, that is water, is again an example of a combination reaction. And third, that is the slaked lime from quicklime. We have already discussed in the previous slides. That is calcium oxide when reacts with water gives what? Calcium hydroxide. So you can see in all the three reactions, the product is just one. And since the product is just one, all the three are the example of combination reaction. So answer would be all of the above. Moving ahead to the next case study. See, we all know that we need energy to stay alive. We get this energy from the food we eat. During digestion, food is broken down into simpler substances. For example, rice, potatoes, and bread contain carbohydrates. These carbohydrates are broken down to form glucose. This glucose combines with oxygen in the cells of our body and provides energy. The special name of this reaction is respiration. So the above process explained is giving us energy, and it is about the breakdown of food, and such a reaction is termed as respiration. So after reading this passage, we need to answer some of the questions. So here we proceed. First one, is respiration an exothermic process? So what are exothermic processes? The process in which heat is released are termed as exothermic. And on the other hand, we have endothermic. क्योंकि हीट रिलीज हो रही है तो यस, ये किसका एग्जाम्पल है? ये एक्सोथर्मिक रिएक्शन का एग्जाम्पल है. करेक्ट. नेक्स्ट, which of the following are the examples of an exothermic reaction? Out of the three, which of the following are an example of exothermic reaction? See, respiration we have already discussed that respiration is an example of exothermic reaction. Burning of natural gas, yes, since when the gas gets burned, it releases a large amount of heat, and since the heat is released, it is an example of exothermic reaction. Third, the decomposition of vegetable matter into compost. Yes, the heat is released in this case as well, and since all the three are an example of exothermic reaction, the correct answer would be all of the above. Moving ahead to the next question, which of the following are an endothermic process? Now you just need to think the opposite of it. Which of the following is an example of endothermic process? A. Dilution of sulfuric acid. B. Sublimation of dry ice. C. Condensation of water vapors. Or fourth, D. Reaction of water with quicklime. अब आपको बताना है कौन सा इनमें से एंडोथर्मिक प्रोसेस है, मतलब जिसे हमें करने के लिए एक हीट देनी पड़ती है, बिना हीट दिए वो रिएक्शन नहीं हो सकता. सी, ऑल ऑफ द अबव इज नॉट एन एग्जाम्पल, नॉट एन ऑप्शन इवन. सॉरी. So, which of the following are or is an endothermic process? Yes. Sublimation of dry ice is an example of endothermic process, because for sublimation we need to provide heat. And when we give heat for a reaction to occur or for a reaction to take place, such a reaction is termed as endothermic process. Next, which of the following are reactants in respiration? अब reactants क्या होते हैं? जो react करते हैं किसी भी reaction में और फिर हमें product मिलता है. तो out of the four, which of the following are the reactants? A. Oxygen. B. Glucose. C. Both of these. और D. Water. कौन कौन सी चीज़ें react करती हैं respiration के process में? So you all must even know the reaction of respiration. So respiration कब होता है? जब glucose combine होता है oxygen के साथ. Now there are different types of respiration, either anaerobic or aerobic. We will be discussing in the case studies of life processes. So glucose plus oxygen gives what? It gives us energy and water. So if we are talking about reactants, what are reacting in this case? glucose and oxygen, both are reacting. So both of these would be the correct option when we are talking about the reactants of respiration. Next, which of the following are products in the respiration, or which of the following is product in respiration? respiration के टाइम पे क्या प्रोडक्ट होता है? Is it oxygen, water, both of these, or glucose? Yes, the product is water. Water is the product in the case of respiration. That's just a simple question. Now, the last case study or the next case study is about an activity. This is one of an important activity of chapter 1 of grade 10th, that is the chemical reactions and equations. And this activity demonstrates the electrolysis of water. Electrolysis of water क्या होता है? First of all, what is electrolysis? Electrolysis is decomposing a compound into different products. तो अब हम इस रिएक्शन में इलेक्ट्रोलिसिस कर रहे हैं वाटर का. तो अगर हम बात करें इलेक्ट्रोलिसिस ऑफ वाटर, मतलब वाटर टूट रहा है और वाटर किन 2 प्रोडक्ट्स में ब्रेक डाउन होता है, वो है हाइड्रोजन और ऑक्सीजन. जिन 2 प्रोडक्ट्स का वो बना हुआ है, जिन 2 रिएक्टेंट्स का बना हुआ है. तो वाटर को अगर हम तोड़ रहे हैं और हम इलेक्ट्रिसिटी देकर तोड़ रहे हैं, सो वी आर डिकम्पोजिंग वाटर with the help of electricity. So such a reaction in which decomposition occurs with the help of electricity is termed as electrolysis. Now, in electrolysis, the electric current is used to decompose the compound. Which compound? Water, into its constituent compounds. Now, we need to answer some of the questions. Before that, please just observe this figure carefully. That one of the gas is just the double of the other. अगर आप देखेंगे एक गैस डबल क्वांटिटी में बन रही है. अब अगर हम बात करेंगे कि कौन सी गैस है, अभी हम आगे डिस्कस करेंगे. और अब बैटरी से जो कनेक्टेड होता है, ध्यान से देखिएगा, एक इलेक्ट्रोड पॉजिटिव से कनेक्टेड होता है, दूसरा इलेक्ट्रोड नेगेटिव से कनेक्टेड होता है. जो पॉजिटिव से कनेक्टेड होता है बैटरी के, उसे हम एनोड बोलते हैं, और जो नेगेटिव पार्ट ऑफ द बैटरी से कनेक्टेड होता है उसे हम कैथोड बोलते हैं. चलिए अब हम आगे कुछ क्वेश्चंस डिस्कस करते हैं इसके. फर्स्ट, द वॉल्यूम ऑफ द गैस कलेक्टेड एट द कैथोड. नाउ यू नीड टू ऑब्जर्व, कैथोड पे जो गैस बनी है वो हाफ है, कम अमाउंट में है. तो अब वो जो क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे हैं कि जो गैस बनी है कैथोड पे, पढ़ते हैं, ड्यूरिंग द इलेक्ट्रोलिसिस ऑफ वाटर. अब आपको बताना है जो गैस बनी थी इलेक्ट्रोड पे, और कौन से इलेक्ट्रोड पे? कैथोड पर. वो इनमें से कौन सी बात को जस्टिफाई कर रही है? फर्स्ट, इट इज सेम एज द वॉल्यूम ऑफ गैस कलेक्टेड इन एनोड. तो क्या दोनों का वॉल्यूम जस्ट सेम है? और इट इज हाफ ऑफ द वॉल्यूम ऑफ द गैस कलेक्टेड एनोड, हाफ है उसके. और इट इज डबल ऑफ द वॉल्यूम ऑफ द गैस कलेक्टेड एट एनोड. तो उससे पहले हमें ये समझना पड़ेगा कि कैथोड और एनोड पे कौन सी गैसेस रिलीज हो रही हैं. हमने बात किसकी करी है अभी तक? सिर्फ 2 गैसेस रिलीज होंगी, हाइड्रोजन और ऑक्सीजन, क्योंकि हम वाटर को डिकम्पोज कर रहे हैं. हाँ जी. अब उन्होंने किसकी बात करी है? जो एनोड पे गैस है वो क्या है? देखो, एनोड किससे कनेक्टेड है? पॉजिटिव से. और पॉजिटिव पे कौन सी गैस आती है? ऑक्सीजन, क्योंकि ऑक्सीजन नेगेटिव होती है. और अगर हम बात करें कैथोड किससे कनेक्टेड है? कैथोड कनेक्टेड है नेगेटिव से, नेगेटिव पार्ट ऑफ द बैटरी और नेगेटिव टर्मिनल. तो उस पर कौन सी गैस आती है? हाइड्रोजन. अब जब हम बात करेंगे वाटर के फॉर्मूला की, हाइड्रोजन इज जस्ट द डबल ऑफ ऑक्सीजन. H2O है, मतलब हाइड्रोजन के जितने भी एटम्स हैं वो ट्वाइस हैं ऑक्सीजन के एटम्स से वाटर में. अब यही बात देखते हुए अगर हम डिस्कस करें कि जो गैस, द वॉल्यूम ऑफ गैस कलेक्टेड एट कैथोड ड्यूरिंग द इलेक्ट्रोलिसिस, इट्स जस्ट द डबल ऑफ द वॉल्यूम ऑफ द गैस कलेक्टेड एट एनोड. क्योंकि कैथोड पे हमें हाइड्रोजन मिल रही है और एनोड पे हमें ऑक्सीजन मिल रही है. और H2O के केस में हाइड्रोजन डबल होती है, टॉइस है ऑक्सीजन के. आई होप इट्स क्लियर टू यू ऑल. मूविंग अहेड टू द नेक्स्ट. ड्यूरिंग इलेक्ट्रोलाइसिस, the charges carried by anode and cathode are respectively. आपको बताना है कि एनोड पे कौन सा चार्ज होता है और कैथोड पे कौन सा चार्ज होता है. यही अभी हमने डिस्कस किया, वरना आप ऐसे लर्न कर सकते हैं. एनायंस मूव टूवर्ड्स एनोड. इट्स एन ईजी वे टू लर्न. सो एनायंस क्या होते हैं? नेगेटिवली चार्ज आयंस. अब नेगेटिवली चार्ज आयंस किस पे जाएंगे? पॉजिटिव इलेक्ट्रोड पे जाएंगे, क्योंकि हमें पता है अपोजिट चार्जेस अट्रैक्ट ईच अदर. तो ये एनायंस किस पे गए हैं? ये एनायंस एनोड पर गए हैं. तो अगर सबसे पहले वो पूछ रहे हैं एनोड का चार्ज, तो एनोड पे कौन सा चार्ज है? एनोड पे पॉजिटिव है. तो कैथोड पे क्या होगा? कैथोड पे नेगेटिव होगा. सो सी इज द करेक्ट ऑप्शन. दैट इज एनोड पे कौन सा चार्ज होता है? एनोड पे पॉजिटिव चार्ज होता है. और कैथोड पे कौन सा चार्ज होता है? कैथोड पे नेगेटिव चार्ज होता है. द नेक्स्ट, द गैस एट विच इलेक्ट्रोड विल ब्लो ऑन द बर्निंग कैंडल. नाउ वी हैव टू gases which we have already talked about. One is hydrogen, another is oxygen. तो कौन सी गैस आपकी कैंडल को ब्लो ऑन करेगी और सपोर्ट करेगी? तो कौन सी गैस सपोर्ट करेगी? हाँ जी, विल ब्लो ऑन, सॉरी. सो यस, द गैस at the cathode will blow on the burning of candle. Next, decomposition reaction can be carried out by which of the following experiment? Which of the following? तो किसकी हेल्प से decomposition reaction अकर हो सकती है? Decomposition means we have to break the reactants, और अगर हमें reactants को break करना है तो हमें energy देनी होगी. और energy हम किस फॉर्म में दे सकते हैं? We can give energy in the form of heat, light, electricity, or all of the above. Yes, we can give energy in the form of heat, and those reactions are termed as thermal decomposition reaction. When we give energy in the form of light to break something, we termed it as photolysis reaction or photolytic reaction. When we give energy in the form of electricity to break up the thing, then we term the reaction as electrolysis reaction or electrolytic reaction. So since decomposition reaction can be occurred with all of the three, the answer would be all of the above. The next, how many types of decomposition reactions are there? We have right now discussed. There are three types of decomposition reaction, that is thermal decomposition, photolysis decomposition, and electrolysis decomposition. So the correct answer is the three. There are three types of decomposition reaction. So moving ahead to the last case study of today is, as you can observe in the image, two iron nails are taken and they are tied with a thread and immersed in a copper sulphate solution for about 10 minutes. तो हमने iron nail को लिया है, that is iron, and we have immersed it up in the copper sulphate solution. And for how much time? Just for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, iron nails are taken out from the copper sulphate solution. और फिर हम observe करते हैं कि iron nail, they become brownish in color. And the blue color of the copper solution fades. Blue color fade हो जाता है और क्या होता है, जो आयरन नेल होती है वो ब्राउनिश कलर की हो जाती है. अब ऐसा क्यों होता है और इसके क्या क्वेश्चंस है, वी विल बी डिस्कसिंग. द वेरी फर्स्ट इज, विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग रिएक्शन टेक्स प्लेस आउट ऑफ these four in the case of iron nail and copper sulphate? When these both reacted, which reaction took place? Whether is it decomposition or precipitation or displacement or combination? Out of these four, which reaction occurred in the above example or the passage? Yes, see what happened. We have mixed iron and copper sulphate since there were iron nails. So you need to check which is more reactive and what has happened. So the reaction took place is the displacement reaction, because copper being less reactive or iron being more reactive made iron sulphate and copper was left behind. So this was the reaction that occurred, and this is an example of a displacement reaction. Moving ahead, इन द अबव एक्सपेरिमेंट आयरन हैज डिस्प्लेस्ड कॉपर. क्या आयरन ने कॉपर को डिस्प्लेस किया है? यस, आयरन हैज डिस्प्लेस्ड कॉपर फ्रॉम द कॉपर सल्फेट सॉल्यूशन. द नेक्स्ट वन, which of the following elements are more reactive than copper? Now you need to tell. There are how many options? You have three options: iron, zinc and lead. Which is more reactive than copper? Yes, right now since we are talking about this reaction only, iron and copper sulfate, since iron was more reactive than the copper, that's why the product is iron sulfate. So we can state iron is more reactive than copper. The next one, iron is placed below copper in the reactivity series. No, the more reactive elements are placed on the top. So how is it possible that iron is placed below? Iron is obviously placed above. So the answer would be false. The next one, which of the following are the products of the reaction? What are the products of the reaction? So what was the reaction that occurred? The reaction that occurred was iron, when reacting with copper sulfate, gives the product iron sulfate FeSO4 plus Cu. So what are the products? There are two products, that is iron sulfate and copper. So the correct answer of the products would be the C one, that is both A and B. So that's just for today. Thanks for watching. We will be continuing the session again. Till then, bye bye, take care.